Hey everybody, I'm Bob Bakert, and we're here with Leni Stern today. We're graced with her presence. Thank you so much for taking some time out to talk to us.
You're welcome, Bob.
I saw you in Atlanta at the Velvet Note back a few months ago. You were
Love
out
that club.
you were
That
out
is
with
such a great place.
Mike's part of that thing down there. It was great with Mike and the guys. It was great seeing you, and I was enjoying your vocals, and I was enjoying I don't know what you call this, that kind of slide instrument.
Called Ngoni, N apostrophe Goni. It's
Okay,
a, it has some relationships to the banjo because the top is a skin,
right.
and then but the neck. Let me see. I have one right here, and I can show you.
Oh, cool.
So you see, this is the
Yeah.
whole thing. And this is a cow skin, and this is a big chunk of ebony.
Oh, wow.
And it is originally, wait, I can show you that too. Originally, it looks like this with the
Okay.
frets. You see, the frets are these leather bands that
Yeah.
you pull up and down. Well, I did not win any popularity contests with that, so I installed some pickups, some tuners, guitar tuners on it.
Okay.
So
Very
now I
cool.
can tune it regularly. You you add a little bit of highs when you do that because you
Yeah.
put the metal in,
Sure.
but it's uh it's so much more practical because the situation. I played it in Adam Rudolph's orchestra, organic orchestra, and every time somebody turned on the AC in the place wherever we were playing, these leather things go out of tune, and then everybody has to wait for me to tune. So this is what brought this
Yeah,
on, and it's
you didn't have any trouble with it the night that I was there.
yeah, I had the tuning pegs
Yeah,
done.
it was great.
Guitar tuners.
So you've had this incredibly eclectic career, you know?
Thank you.
I mean, you started out, well, I know you were an actress at one point in time,
Yeah, yeah,
probably
I was.
over in Germany. And
Yeah.
then you came over to Berkeley and
Well,
played.
I was the musical director of this acting company, and actually, before I came, I had written the music for 4 plays and 2 movies
Oh, okay.
because we were also in movies. And I just wanted to get a chance to experiment with different things in film scoring rather than doing it sort of like by the seat of my pants. I was studying composition in Germany. I was studying, the regular annoying counterpoint, like, Schoenberg student composition, but at the same time, I was studying with a jazz musician that had been a teacher at Berkeley, and that's what got me interested in going to America because I like their more well, I like improvisation and their approach to composition from an improviser's point of view. Keith Jarrett once said that improvising is instant composition, and it's a kind of a little bit of a big-headed thing to say, but it kind of is.
I
It
would agree.
is
I would agree. Yeah.
because you make decisions that a composer makes, but you make them on the spot.
Yeah. And never to be repeated again. you know, the same way
Yeah,
twice,
no, no,
if you're doing it well,
no,
it's disposable composition, I guess would be
or not
or
nowadays.
not. Then I know that you and Wayne Krantz had a musical collaboration for a long
He
time.
played guitar for me in my band. Yes, he did.
Yeah. So
He was my second guitarist for many years.
yeah, Wayne's a good buddy of ours, of the magazine. We love Wayne.
Right, right.
And and then I heard the track, Black Guitar,
Oh yeah.
which is an absolutely gorgeous piece.
Thank you.
It's beautiful. It's not what you're doing now, in terms of like all of the, I hear all the rhythms that you're playing against, all the African rhythms that you're playing and all that. But it's very I don't know, I thought it was just an absolutely gorgeous piece.
Well, I have written a little. Yeah, it's an arrangement I made of a Larry John McNally song.
Uh-huh.
he's one of my favorite composers. Excuse me, my assistant is just telling me, Johnny, I'm
Okay.
giving an interview on Zoom. Um, it's you know what? Hang on, let me see if I can move to my room. No, I can't. I have to charge my phone.
Okay.
Um,
Is that a
it's
student?
No, that's my assistant,
Oh,
and
okay.
it's Jonathan Goldberg, a great guitar player. You should talk to him about his
Hey,
band.
hey,
He
Jonathan. Hey,
he
Jonathan.
Hey John. He helps me run the sort of online portion of my record
Okay.
label here. He's really good. He's a recording engineer also, so he records my overdubs. We do this all in house here.
Spectacular.
To explain a little bit why I have all these different directions I go in. I come from film scoring, and so you grab whatever you can to make a film sound better and
Right.
be more romantic or more suspenseful, and you really look at music a little bit different than when you're just a composer, because you have to serve somebody, and it's very common in film music. It's called, the course at Berkeley was called location. So you have to, with the music, anticipate where the camera is going next. Oops, I lost my earpiece. So you, like, if the subject of the film flies to India, you're probably going to put some sitars in the soundtrack. So my interest in all different things was um, came from writing 4 plays and 2 movies, because I had to grab. We wrote a play that took place in Chile, in South America, and I used a lot of South American musicians, a lot of South American rhythms. So it's all just a little bit of a different point of view
Sure.
when you look at composing. And I had to write theme songs for the movie, so there we go into the black guitar realm and
Yeah.
the singer songwriters, and um, so that is just to explain why I feel at home in so many different styles, because that's how I came up.
How would you define what you're doing now? How would you explain to people what you're into, what you're doing?
My goal has always been to defy any definition and to not go into any box, because I think it's counterproductive for the creation of music. It's very useful for the selling of music if you have a label you can put on, but nowadays you really don't need it anymore. We have YouTube, we have Instagram, we can TikTok, we can show what it's like. We don't need to rely on a label to give our fans an idea of what it is that they are buying, because it's
Right.
pretty obvious what it is. You can just see it. So I always thought that this was a bad idea to have styles, and it's just because at Tower Records they used to want to have sections where they can sell their CDs, and that really should not impact how we look at our compositions and what our choices of harmony and rhythms are.
Well,
Um,
that's fair enough. Fair enough. I guess the influences are from everywhere, really. I
yes, they
mean,
are.
I hear South
They are.
American, I hear African, I hear European, I hear American. I mean, I
Right.
hear
It's
about everything you can imagine in your music. It's true global eclecticism, if you will.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So I
That's what
like
it is.
that. I like that very much.
We as musicians, we are lucky to perform in any country of the world. So
Mhm.
um, I always make a point in learning at least how to say hello to the audience, and good evening and thank you for coming in any language of where we are, and to, like, check out their music and check out the
Yeah.
people that are playing in their country, and it's amazing what you can learn.
I I was uh I was watching several of your concerts on YouTube today.
Mm,
And I was enjoying watching them and listening to them, of course.
thank you.
The interaction of the musicians, it was very interesting how it was going on, and your role in it. Um, I don't have a definition, I must say, but you play an interesting role. I mean, I know it's your music, and I know that you're guiding it and directing it, but you allow it to just kind of flow, just things going on all around you, and it's really interesting, and the way that you let the rhythms just develop organically is just fun. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Um, my husband played for years with Miles Davis, and I was always amazed at how Miles Davis did not direct his band a whole lot. I mean, his direction was in the musicians that he picked, and then he let them do their thing, and he guided it. And I always thought that that was so brilliant because it brought the best out of everybody. Everybody sounded fantastic in the band. So I tried to emulate that, to let people find themselves and express their true selves in my band, of course, in a context. But I always made our rehearsals so everybody could input for the arrangements. And if you look at the recordings, everybody is credited for arrangement. I had Ali Fai, who plays percussion for me, bring in in Africa, we don't go one, two, so they play a drum call. So I had them do that for us
Mm-hmm.
because, we also always say that our rhythms come from Africa. So that's what we do. And Mamadou brought in those melodic lines that are part of the arrangements in African music that determine a song and that also guide you to the bridge or to the next section, to the chorus. It always is like with this melodic line. And it's not just like a pickup, it's like 2 3 bars of melody. So those are the forms of African music that I've incorporated. And I'm just always on the lookout for new things. And it's sort of, I got two birds with one stone. I made them happy because they could really recognize themselves, their traditions, their culture in our common music. And I got a great arrangement. I got something different. I'm like on the search for a new sound, something new. And that's how I achieved it.
How charming. That's really nice. It's very nice. Um, and you're doing all this on a Stratocaster.
Yes, I love my Stratocaster. I have a very nice collection of Stratocasters. Um, and the one that I play in most of the videos is my gold Stratocaster, which was I'm a Fender artist, and they made that guitar according to my specifications. I like the neck a little bit thinner on the top.
Uh-huh.
So, because strats get like a little wide because a lot of Strat and Telecaster players, let's face it, they play in the first 5 bars. But since I play on the whole neck, I don't want to have that big increase in volume on the neck on the top. So I figured out with my guitar uh, build a flip Scipio how thin we can go without causing any kind of like
Right.
problems. Like it's like a fine line between comfort and practic and practicality. And I also like to play on really wide frets, so I get a lot of sustain.
Right.
And that you have to be careful with that too, because that can mess up your intonation. So it's always like a balancing act with that. But Fender went right along with me. When I signed up with Fender, Jim Black, who used to work on 42nd Street here, and who had made a guitar for me. John Suhr made the guitar, but Jim Black was working with John Suhr. So Jim Black made that new guitar for me, and he's actually not with Fender anymore. He now has his own company, Jim Black. Forgot it was Black Guitars. And so, and then I also have like a 59, of course, Stratocaster, solid tail.
You have a
That,
59 as well?
uh-huh, uh-huh.
Look at you.
I do.
Oh my God. So,
Sunburst, hardtail, but I don't take it out of the house anymore because, I was playing a show in Salt Lake City and they made me check the guitar all the way home to New York. Those were the longest 4 hours of my life. And I almost got arrested at the airport because the guy kind of took it from me and I ran after him into the restricted area. I said, you can take a bus if you don't give me the guitar. And I said, okay,
That's
I'll take a bus. And then they told me 3 days on the bus. I said, okay, you can take the guitar, but if anything happens, I'm going to kill you. And
Oh, that went over big in an airport, I'm sure.
that went over really good.
We've got a problem down here at gate number 36.
It's a crazy
A
lady.
lady is threatening a TSA agent with death, bodily harm and death. Oh God, Leni, what a trip that what a trip that was.
After that, I didn't take the 59 out anymore, only for recordings in New York.
So I don't normally talk about the technical end of it, but I find it interesting the way that you get your sound. What string gauges do you use? Are they 10s?
10 to 42.
10 to 42. Okay.
I sometimes think maybe 10 and a half, and then
yeah. Well, no, I mean, you're getting a really, really nice tone, and you're doing some bending, and then I noticed that you like to at the end of a phrase, you like to bend the note just a little bit, give it a little bit of a vibrato and stuff like that, like more like either a violinist or a rock player, one of the two, or a blues player. So you're incorporating all of these things into your playing.
I try to make it sound like it's talking to you.
Yeah, well, that was BB King's whole thing,
I know.
Yeah, that was his whole thing, just pretend like you're talking to people. So what I know you got some dates. You're going to be going out with Mike's band.
Yeah. We're going to the Dominican Republic this weekend, right after Thanksgiving. So
that sounds like a lot of fun.
We're gonna sit on the beach.
Oh man.
And I'm gonna come back to New York.
Yeah.
And we're gonna play in New York. I think I might play with my own trio too. And then we're gonna go to California.
Yeah.
Before the year is over.
I saw that on the schedule. So that's very cool. Well, listen, is there anything else something you'd like to tell people about what you're up to, what you're doing? I don't want to keep you too long. Just want to.
That's all right. It's fun to talk to you. Thank you.
Touch base with you. How's Mike doing?
Mike is great, and it's just so fun to play in his band because I've heard the music for all these years, and now I get to play it myself, and we're having a great time out on the road. It's always a little bit hard to be separated so much because we had two different bands and we were playing the globe, but we just thought, this is what this is what our job is, but now we started playing together and it's so much fun to not be separated, and we're having a great time.
I gotta tell you, it was such I brought a big smile to my face. So here you guys have been married for quite some time.
40 years.
Yeah. And you're out on the road playing together. And before the show, you guys are sitting together like you're two teenagers. You're like right here and Mike's like right here. And that's like you got your hand on his leg and I'm going, oh my God, they're so in love.
He's really fun to play with. He's really fun on stage. He'll come over to my side and say something, and make me crack up. Well, he's so bad on stage.
And the thing is, I mean, the beauty of it is that you guys are musically, simpatico, if you will. You guys musically, it's a nice thing you got going with the two of you because it's
he really loves the African rhythms that I can bring in now. And actually, when we're playing in New York, I will find my percussionist is going to play with this, and Leo Genovese, who plays in my band. So he borrows from my band as he often has. But I'm coming along this time.
I think it's I mean I was digging what you guys were. I mean, I enjoyed the show a lot. I thought the show
Thank
was
you.
great. You know, I think it's fun, you know.
Good.
It's musically fun, you know, to listen to
Cool.
it and to check it out.
But
And
we are having so much fun playing and integrating all of these things.
yeah,
Uh,
it shows. I mean, it just shows, and it gets you, you know, as an audience member, and I was an audience member. You know, the energy is it's very cool.
Oh,
Um,
I'm so glad. I'm
yeah,
so
no,
glad
I
because
love it.
we are having a ball. And I hope the audience is having the same. You know, I used to always play on this record. His producer, Jim Beard, would have me come in and he
Yeah,
loved the goldies. And I have them in all keys. So I would like add little rhythm things and
yeah.
introductions with the goldie in there. And I'm just doing that live now.
It sounds great. Let me ask you a question. So Frank Vignola, and you and Mike and went up to Berkeley.
Yes, I saw him there. Yes.
Was like that was like last week, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, we spent the week that we were the artists in residence.
Yeah. How cool was that? Yeah, Frank sent me a picture. In fact, we put it in the magazine. We put it in the
Oh, cool.
magazine this yesterday or today.
Thank you.
Uh,
We had a great time. You know, Kim Perlak, who's a superb classical guitarist.
so what was that
Cool.
all about? You were up there as artists in residence.
Yeah. We were doing clinics, we were teaching private lessons, um, separately and together.
Mm-hmm.
It was super fun. It was great. I mean, I Kim Perlak, the chair of the guitar department, is
Right.
a fantastic classical composer and classical guitarist. But she has a duo with Dave Tronzo, so she really loves jazz and crosses over, and everybody is getting a classical education and a jazz education, and it's just better than it's ever been in the jazz department.
Oh,
It's
it's
really,
really cool.
really rocking.
And I interviewed Cheryl last month.
Oh,
Uh,
she's so awesome.
yeah,
Her
she
and
is.
Mike, they were doing these bebop classes. It was so much fun. Everybody was
She's
shredding in there. It
yeah,
was stupid.
she's something. So
Yes, she is.
that's very cool. Well, listen, thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate it. Well, consider this the first installment of many, I hope, because we'll try to keep up with you and what you're doing and what's going on.
Super.
And tell Mike I said
Matthew,
hi.
I
Do well out
will.
there. Bob Bakert for Jazz Guitar Today with the amazing, incredible, eclectic Leni Stern. Good night. Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you.